Two guys of Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Oh, the drama, or the lack thereof. I guess the drama in the season finale of Mackie and Judd, write that down, is between the listeners and me, who's going to finish with the worst batting average. Because we already know that Declan's having a 1941 Ted Williams-like. I guess there's some drama. Will Declan hit 400? That's the drama, right? Will Declan hit 400 here?
That's sort of like your first one more.
Will Phil hit 250?
Will Phil reach the Mendoza line?
Will the listeners go 0 for 6, or will Mackie trump them and go 0 for 8?
I sort of like that.
Find out next.
Failure underrated.
Oh, we do celebrate our failure on this show and on Purple Daily more than any sports talk show in America. We're the only shows that actually keep track of our predictions with statistics, showing you just how wrong we are. We try to avoid our bosses seeing this information on a regular basis.
Speak for yourselves.
Yeah, actually, Declan probably wants to forward this information to our suits. But let's fire this thing up here. The season finale, the 2022 season finale of Write That Down.
Yeah, most sports talking heads make predictions, then hope you forget about how wrong they were. But not Mackie and Judd. Write this down. This is the big leagues, where we own our terrible predictions. Write that down. And keep track of each other's batting averages. It's Write That Down. Write it down. You like writing things down? With Mackie and Judd.
Presented by the Choice Bank Minnesota Golf Show. February 24th through the 26th, the Midwest's largest golf show. Jumpstart your swing, jumpstart your spring.
Oh, yeah.
Test out new clubs, visit vendors, apparel, accessories, the latest tech, the latest golf vacations, and even come hang out with Judd and myself. Dex, you're going to be taking a little vacay, so you're not going to be there. If
that is correct.
If people want to get Dex's autograph, they're going to have to wait until after the golf show at some point. But Judd, you and I are going to be there hanging out for podcasts on Friday afternoon and on Saturday afternoon. In fact, let me see here. I just want to pull the schedule up here. Friday, we're slotted between 2 and 4 o'clock on Friday, and then Saturday around the same time. So come hang out with us. Maybe cheers a drink at the 19th hole. MinnesotaGolfShow.com for tickets. MinnesotaGolfShow.com. Plus, you get a bunch of free rounds of golf and some other swag when you buy those tickets. MinnesotaGolfShow.com. All right, here's how it works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting average and home runs. And listeners, if you want to be like Jamie and be a guest listener participant, you can just hit us up through the Score North app. There's a feedback tab. Send a note to Declan. We'll get you scheduled sometime over the next few weeks. All right, boys. Let's get to the accountabilities here. This is the final accountability session of the 2022 Mackie and Judd Write That Down season. We'll start with Judd. You had a few things come off the board here. You said the Twins would fire a member of their coaching staff this offseason. I don't think they did. They didn't send, but usually they send out like a "here's our coaching staff" email or press release. They didn't even do that.
I haven't seen that one yet, but unless they did it in fall after the season.
I did. Medical guy doesn't count.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, the athletic trainer doesn't count because I said coaching staff.
Like Pete Mackey's still their pitching coach, right?
Yeah, and I would like to say that is. I mean, Pete must be at church every single day to have survived.
You're saying maybe he's got some dirt on the poll ads or something?
I don't understand why. I mean, if he had been put back in his original job, I guess I'd get it. But how did Pete Mackey? My God, have you ever seen a man emerge from a dugout and look more just like, oh my God, what's going on than Pete Mackey?
You know, I gotta be honest. I stopped watching the Twins about 3 years ago, so I don't even know what he looks like.
Little guy, he would take off out there to the mound, but I mean, very, very confident.
Yeah.
I
guess I don't know enough about. It's hard to. I don't know enough about how Pete. I'm kidding, by the way. I watched 2 Twins games last year. I saw Pete go out to the mound one time. I don't know enough about him, but I do know that there had to be other more qualified candidates. Like they just kind of threw him in an emergency because Wes Johnson left. So they either love the work that he did, or they just don't want to I don't know, pay for I don't know. It's odd.
A guy behind the scenes who runs the pitching staff, and Pete listens to him.
Yeah. You said Shohei Ohtani will be traded by the Angels this offseason. I don't think that's happening. Pitchers, catchers, reporting. So
it's wrong.
You said Derek Shelton will not be the Pirates manager to start the season. He is still the Pirates manager. So
Don't, poor guy.
Incorrect. However, you did correctly say the Timberwolves would indeed trade D'Angelo Russell by the February 9th trade deadline. So congratulations to you and your family, Judd.
Is that not close to a home run?
When
I
did
don't
you make
know,
it?
man.
There wasn't a lot
Did
of.
you make it last week?
Let
me check.
But I mean, Doogie was downplaying the chances. There were a lot of people that didn't think he'd be traded.
I hear you. I think, we could.
You guys know I don't
let's
politic
see when,
for home runs.
No. Let's see when the
You guys
prediction was
know.
made here.
You guys know me.
Let's see here. You said, "Oh, dude, you said it like 2 weeks ago."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
what
think this is a home run.
I don't know. There's his contract being up and him being. I mean, there's been so many rumors.
Don't expect me to trade in favors with you boys from now on.
I don't know, Dex. What do you?
Don't expect me to be trading with you in
I don't
favors.
know.
I am not.
I think we were knocking too close on the deadline, and the speculation was there. I mean, if it is, it's a
There was a lot
Mauer
of
pot
speculation
shot.
There
I'm
was
not
like
looking-
Nuggets and Clippers rumors out there.
All right.
This is tough. This is like right on the border here.
I
This
mean,
is like
our
this is like
insider
what's
was
the list of
downplaying
quarterbacks that can win you a Super Bowl? And like it's
If
like
Doogie
right
had
at
been-
Kirk Cousins.
If Doogie had been saying to expect a trade, I would say, 100%. But he was actually going the opposite way. And I kept telling you guys they got to trade this guy, and they did. But, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna vote. It's a home run. Judd is right. Everything he was being told by Doogie and national people and stuff, I'm gonna give Judd. Dex, if you want to fight me on this, we can bring it to write that down court. But
I'm not gonna fight you too hard on it. We can give him a home run.
okay,
I don't like it, but it's a home run.
You guys
Judd
know I don't push
Judd
my
doesn't
own
get a
stuff.
lot of home runs in write that down.
And I don't
so.
push my own
That doesn't mean he gets a pity
agendas.
one. It just okay.
No, it's not a pity one. Our insider was saying, I don't see him being traded.
Now you're denigrating Doogie.
Yeah, now you're really dead. I mean, other people.
No,
are
I'm
saying he was
giving
gonna
him
be
credit.
traded.
I'm giving him credit.
Go.
All right, Macadac, in trying to stay out of the cellar here in the batting average race, did not do a good job.
Oh man.
This is one of the worst beats too.
Yes.
I said one of these 5 players at the WM Open would notch a hole in one. Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, Jonathan Vegas, or Tony Finau. That one of those guys would have a hole in one. Tony Finau came within like 3 rotations of a golf ball from a hole in one.
It was nuts.
So, but at the end of the day, it's an incorrect prediction. So,
It's on my bucket list to go to that hole 16 at the Waste Management Open. It looks like
apparently
an
you have to
absolute
get
blast.
there super early in the
5 in
morning,
the morning.
and then sprint.
Yes,
No problem. I can.
There were people
I can
there
sprint
at
and
5
drink. That's fine.
a.m. in line, and the line was super deep.
Yeah.
I would have no interest.
I said Kirill Kaprizov will register a hat trick by this week's Write That Down. He failed. I said the Wolves would win all 3 road games by this week's Write That Down. They won 2 of them. They went 2-1. I said Jordan McLaughlin. Well, this one's mathematically this one. At first I was like, ooh, this one has a chance now. But Jordan McLaughlin. I said Jordan McLaughlin will play more total minutes for the Wolves this season than D'Angelo Russell. Well, I think because he missed like 30 games, I did some math on this. He'd have to literally play like every second of every game and overtimes or something, and that's not going to happen.
Okay.
And I said the Wolves would win 55 or more games this season. That is no longer mathematically possible. So a bit of a bloodbath for old Macadac. All right, the listeners. Nate said the Wolves would be 7 games under 500 by the All-Star game. Not so fast with that negativity. Michael said Justin Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw would be first-team All-Pros. Well, Jefferson was, Darrisaw was not.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle said D'Lo would remain on the Wolves roster through the end of the season, and some other things incorrect. It's part of a parlay. Travis said the Seahawks will have the offensive and defensive rookies of the year and the NFL comeback player of the year. They did have the comeback player of the year, but incorrect on the other ones. And then our guy Kyle Tigey from Flagrant House said the Wolves would have at least 2 All-Stars. They have 1. His name is Anthony Edwards. On the positive side for the listeners, Jake said Justin Jefferson would get an MVP vote. correct. And Flagrant House Kyle said the Wolves would trade a current, this is like before the season he said this, we'll trade a current player for a future asset. So they'll trade a current player for like a draft pick. And they did because they got second-round picks in return along with Mike Conley. So that is correct. All right, Declan, as you try, look at this, man. You came in batting 406, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Oh, that's what Teddy Ballgame was at going into the doubleheader in 41.
I think it was.
Or no, I'm sorry. He was at 401 and ended at 406.
Yes.
That's what it was.
And they offered to sit him if he wanted, and he said, F you, I'm not going out like that. I'm gonna earn it. Just like Declan decided to do here.
That's what it was.
You said Ricky Fowler would finish top 3 at the WM Open. He got a T10. Ricky Fowler's game is kind of back on
He's
point.
coming back a little bit.
Yeah.
We got Full Swing on Netflix. That's what all I'm doing tonight.
That's out this morning, yeah. One of the golf writers binged the whole thing starting at midnight, like stayed up all night watching it.
That's awesome.
Really excited. Jarek McKinnon records a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
God, what a bad
He
beat.
slid at the goal line.
Yeah, but I mean, he totally did the right thing. He cared. He cared more about his team than Declan.
Well, that's too bad.
You said the Wolves would be a top 4 team in the West at some point in the last 2 weeks. They were not. They sniffed it early in that window, but they did not get there. You said Rihanna would sing or feature the following 5 songs at her Super Bowl performance: Umbrella, Ponde Replay, SOS, Needed Me, This Is What You Came For. She got one of those, right? She did Umbrella.
One of these songs. Her catalog is absurd.
You should have thrown Work, Work, Work in there.
I thought, dude, I'm not exaggerating. I had like a dozen, and then I was telling my fiance about like how I had this a couple days going in the Super Bowl, and she's like, "You forgot like 4 or 5 like absolute bangers." And I was like, "Well, I mean, she's got so many songs.
She has like
fine.
20 of them. Yeah, it's
like, oh my god.
You should have consulted the gal before you.
I should have. I should.
She should have given you the list. That's what should have happened.
Yes, she should have.
The Twins will sign Michael Wacha. He signed with somebody else like this morning or last night.
Yeah,
Padres,
okay. I think yesterday. Yeah.
But you did redeem yourself a little bit. You said Chris Stapleton would go over in his national anthem. He hit 205 on a 202 over-under, right?
Yep, that is correct.
So you hit this one, according to OddsShark. So with that, we know that Declan is the batting champion. Did Declan hit 400? Did Declan become the first player in Write That Down history to hit 400? He did! 403!
Oh my God, he kept it.
Let's
go!
Wow.
What a performance.
Nice. Very
An
nice.
all-time great performance by Declan Goff in 2022. He finishes with a 403 batting average ahead of Judd's 329. Judd, you closed it about 10 points in the final couple weeks. And the listeners beat me out for the seller spot there. The listeners with a 270 average, and I finished dead last at 262.
Oh.
The listeners, however, congratulations for the home run crown here. The Joey Gallo of the Write That Down roster with 23 home runs to Declan's 17, my 16, and slap-hitting Judd with 11 home runs.
Is 23 a single-season record?
I believe it is. I was actually going back a few years ago. We collectively swing for way more home runs now than we did 4 or 5 years ago. There was a couple of seasons where the winner would have like 6 home runs.
I remember that. I'm not changing my style.
Well, you've become a little more aggressive because you're up to 11.
But I'm still Carew-like.
So with that, here are some featured home runs from the 2022 season in case you guys forgot. So Jacqueline several months ago predicted that Declan would propose to his current girlfriend by week 1 of the 2024 NFL season. She gave you 2 years to do it. Declan did it a month and a half later. So a home run from Jacqueline early in the year. Dex at one point had the Twins beating the Yankees in a blowout by at least 5 runs in a series, and he was correct about that, which rarely happens.
I think that was a Garrett Cole start.
Yeah, they
did. They clowned Garrett Cole. Mm-hmm. Royce said that Cat would play 50 games or fewer this season, that he would just miss a huge chunk of games because of injury. And he was right about that. And then, Judd, you and I had some big-time Byron Buxton bombs here. I said Buxton would homer in his first game after the All-Star break. You said he would homer in the All-Star game. And we were correct on those 500-foot moonshots. But here's the thing that I'm the most excited about. So we've had career hit totals. We've had career home run totals. I went back last night. through multiple different spreadsheets dating back to 2018 on this show, and I tallied all-time batting averages for the history of Write That Down. Now, we've been doing it for like 7 or 8 years. We've only been keeping track of statistics for 5 years.
Okay.
Declan's been on board for 3 years. And Declan, by a mile, is the best player in Mackie and Judd Write That Down with a 380 a 386 career batting average. Judd, a 328 career batting average. I'm a paltry 268 career batting average. I feel like I've leaned a little too far into just swinging for home runs the last couple of years. So you might see some more singles.
It's okay, Joey. It's okay, Joey Gallo. Don't worry about it.
Listeners at 262 career average. In terms of home runs, listeners with 42, which leads all time. I'm at 31, which is second to Judd's 26. Declan with 25, but in 2 fewer seasons than Judd has played. So that's what it looks like. Those are your career statistics that we can just keep track of going forward. The history of Write That Down. Wow. So an historic season for Declan Goff, batting 400, putting his stamp on this game. He is the man at the top of the mountain that we must all climb to defeat.
What does that guy on the left do? He makes correct predictions, unlike these other jokers next to me.
Why is he sitting there in silence while these other two bozos talk? Because he's just thinking about his next Write That Down prediction.
Exactly right.
That's what's happening. All right, let's get him in. He's been waiting here in the green room, so to speak. Jamie is our guest listener predictor on Mackie and Judd today. Jamie, you're rocking the State of Hawk Purple Daily shirt because you guys have the same hair, basically, from what we can see.
Yes. I had it first, though, because I'm much older.
Nice.
Get credit, full credit.
Yes. So, all right, we're going to get into the predictions here, but tell us your background. When did you first become a long-suffering Minnesota sports fan, Jamie?
My first Minnesota sports memory was the 1974 loss to the Dolphins in the Super Bowl.
Ooh,
I remember I was at my uncle's house, and they were all watching the game. And that was the first time I heard my dad say, "I will die before the Vikings win a Super Bowl."
So he said it first. So your dad said it first.
Yeah. And now I'm starting to believe the same thing.
Yeah. Don't worry, so am I.
Yeah, you and
And
Judd
thanks
are
to
kind
you
of
guys. I owe you guys all the credit. I am officially off the purple Kool-Aid of that other station across town.
Well, you're welcome to listen to and consume whatever content you want, but we appreciate the loyalty there too. I think, I don't know, somebody hit me up yesterday on Twitter and was like, "Why do you care if the Vikings win a Super Bowl?" Because a lot of fans care. We are the conduits. We are here as the I guess the party throwers, if you will. And if the guests that come into our house want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl, let's go and figure out a way to make that happen. We have no control, but let's talk about the ways that we can, if we were running the Vikings, that we can make that happen. So that's the perception that we have. And if people are just excited about 9-win seasons and one and done playoff trips, then there's content for you out there. That's fine. You can listen to or watch whatever you want to. That's fine. So anyhow, thanks for
you
the kind
guys are
words.
great at killing segments, and it's entertaining and it's realistic.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Jamie. We appreciate you, man. Well, you're first up in the batter's box here. You get the first prediction of the 2023 Write That Down season. We'll make 3 predictions each. We'll go around the room one at a time. So, Jamie, lead us off, man.
So I'm a big fan of Realistic Randy, too. And he inspired this prediction because he said to come up with a hot take. So this is a hot take. The Chicago Bears will trade Justin Fields for multiple picks and get at least 1 first-round pick.
Wow.
And I think he'll end up in the AFC South.
Wow. Is that second part off the record or on the record? The AFC South part.
I mean, what's it got to be a home run?
Oh, no,
I think you're good.
This is a home run.
Stop. Don't
bait
worry
him.
about the division.
It's actually
good.
very
No, this
interesting
is great.
timing because Jason Lockenfora tweeted out like an hour ago. More than one NFL general manager came away from the Senior Bowl fairly convinced that Justin Fields will be dealt.
Wow.
Ooh.
It's the smart play. He's not that good yet, right? He's shown promise. Obviously, he's mobile. but he's already going into year 3 of a rookie scale contract.
It's a smart play, but you also have to consider the absolute killing that you make by trading that first overall pick and getting more capital. Like
I want my picks back.
Could you trade them both? And like you could trade them
And
both
trade
and
back.
still wind up with like CJ Stroud and a
if you want a
boatload of
quarterback.
assets, right?
I mean, yeah, if you took a quarterback still.
You could trade the Bears could trade back to like the 4th pick, draft the 3rd quarterback off the board, have an extra 4 picks in their back pocket, future first, and also trade Justin Fields for like a first or a second or something.
I love that prediction though. That would be
It's a good one.
Completely plausible. And I think Ryan Poles is just like he showed enough in what he did and didn't do that it wouldn't completely shock you.
Yeah. Love it, man. Jamie coming out swinging here to start the season. All right, Judd, what's your first prediction?
All right, the Wild has actually an incredibly important game tonight that unfortunately is going to start around 9:00 because of national TV against the Colorado Avalanche. So I'm just going to make Declan very proud by making a prediction that's going to come off the board immediately and say this: the Wild will beat the Avalanche in the game tonight, which is Wednesday night. Okay. So the Wild will beat Colorado at home.
Where are we at? Colorado's been scuffling a little bit, right? They're in the playoff picture?
They
right?
are. Declan
made that bold prediction at the beginning of the year that they were not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, and I still think that they will pass the Wild eventually. But yes, they are definitely. They've had a lot of injuries and inconsistencies because of that. So yes, they are. They are not where they were a year ago, which was the class of the league.
Yeah. All right, the Dexter.
I'll make a Wild prediction as well. So the Wild have 8 games remaining in February. So write this down. The Wild will collect at least 10 points from now through the end of the month. So basically there's 16 total points up for grabs for the Wild through the end of February. They will collect at least 10 points.
Okay.
Write it down.
All right, let's make a Wolves prediction here. Shocking, I know. Write this down. By the way, Flagrant Howls from yesterday, a celebration of the clamps that were put on the Dallas Mavericks elite scorers, is one of the most listened to episodes of the season so far. So check that out if you haven't. Judd's Hockey Show as well, multiple days a week. Jesse Pierce joining, so check that out. Here's my prediction. So the Wolves are currently 2 games above 500. They have not yet been 3 games above 500 this season. They've been 2 games above 500 a bunch of times, but they've yet to get to that 3 games above. The Wolves, write this down, will win their next 2 games and be 4 games above 500 for the first time all season. I think they're going to be favored in both. It's home games, one before the All-Star break against Washington, and then one, they're like a 500 team, and then one after the All-Star break against Charlotte, who's bad, but did beat the Wolves in a pretty embarrassing fashion a few weeks back. So they will win their next 2 home games and be 4 games above 500. Jamie?
Okay, that's too close to the Wolves prediction I was going to make. So I'll go. I have 5 of them, so that helps me narrow it down.
He's going to his alternate predictions here. Alternate predictions.
So I'm going to make a World Series prediction, and this is inspired by my friend Tommy, who's a big Yankees fan. And I'm going to predict a 2023 Subway Series with the Yankees and the Mets. But Tommy won't be happy with me. I'm going to say the Mets beat the Yankees.
Wow. I love the swings here from Jamie. Aggressive swings.
And the Mets are promising championships right now.
Well, who's
they have
I
just looked it up. They
Scherzer?
spent a ton of money in the offseason.
Yeah, Steve Cohen doesn't care.
Isn't their payroll pushing like $400 million or something? It's ridiculous with luxury tax included.
Yeah, I thought it came down a little bit because I think the Correa thing was going to drive it absolutely through the roof. But anyway, it's a lot.
Yeah. All right, over to Judd for your second prediction.
All right, so on Purple Daily, write that down. I predicted the Denver Broncos with Sean Payton would emerge as a playoff team. So since spring training is starting, I'm going to do the same thing for a baseball team that has made a managerial change. Although I saw that Jacob deGrom is going to be slow cooked a little bit because he showed up at camp with an ailment, which is so Jacob deGrom, it's unbelievable. The Texas Rangers will make the playoffs this season. The Texas Rangers, coming off a very disappointing year with Bruce Bochy, who's now I think 82 years old, but I actually like him.
Is he seriously?
No, he's.
Okay.
I think he's late 60s. But anyway, they will make the playoffs this season.
Okay. Love the random Texas Rangers prediction.
Yeah,
here.
very interesting.
Exciting time to be a baseball fan.
It's not my fault.
We're over to Dex. Sorry, I was going to cut you off there, but we'll go to Dex.
I have a Wolves prediction as well, so write this down. Mike Conley will have a better field goal percentage and 3-point percentage with the Wolves than he did in his 43 games with the Grizzlies this season. So he'll have better field goal percentage, a better 3-point percentage in his Wolves tenure than he did in the 43 games this season with Memphis. I think it's like 40% from the field, which I think actually should be a lock. And then the 3-point percentage, I'm spitballing. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was like 38, 37%. He'll shoot better in both those categories with the Wolves.
So there's a lot of listeners sitting here wondering, are they going to let Declan hang himself? Are they going to let Declan just get buzzed immediately for this prediction being incorrect out of his mouth because he didn't play for the Memphis Grizzlies this season?
The damn whatever the hell team he is, Utah Jazz.
He's been with Utah for a few years, but he was with Memphis for like 12 years to start his career. So I think I don't like the gotcha thing. I think sometimes listeners want us to do the gotcha thing, like, oh, he said it. I think unless it's like an egregious, like that's an honest mistake. And it brings up something that we should talk about for the 2023 Write That Down season. Should we look to play gotcha? I don't think we should ever do it with listeners because you're coming on here, you're making, like, we should help listeners not step in.
If our wording is incorrect in a legal sort of way, I love it. Gotcha. Okay. But if you have the wrong team, no.
Yeah,
that's just a mistake.
Okay. So where do we draw that line? Let's say Judd says Adam Thielen will score 10 touchdowns in 2022, and he scores 15, which would actually be a shocking.
Well, I mean, we've asked before, are you being specific?
I think we should always count. Yeah, I think if you're, I almost feel like it should be at least is a given. Like if you say, Declan's going to bat 400 and write that down this year, and he bats 420, he should get.
Or make it clear that you're saying 10. Like, because sometimes for, an opportunity at a home run prediction, you will give an exact. But I do think that if you have something where the semantics is wrong, I think it's very fair.
Okay. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of listeners that would rather us have been silent there, and then next week be like, "Oh, sorry, Declan, you said Memphis, so you're wrong."
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's.
I'm with you on that.
We can take feedback if you guys have thoughts on that. This is your show too, so hit us up on Twitter and in the Score North YouTube comment section. Okay, write this down. The Minnesota Twins will use at least 6 different starting pitchers in the first 7 games of the season. I think they're going to go 6-man rotation out of the gate.
Gotcha.
So they'll use at least 6 different starting pitchers in the first 7 games of the season. Write that down. There's no reason not to. You got a bunch of guys that have been banged up. Kenta Maeda, it's going to be cold.
It's one of the deepest rotations in baseball. I mean, it just lights years ahead of every other rotation.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
team.
One of the best in baseball. Oh my God.
From
the
Florida.
depth of Kenta Maeda and Bailey Over.
You guys, okay, can I say, I this morning woke up,
I'm excited.
And I was actually sort of excited for spring training and Twins baseball. I've come out of like my Twins fog, at least temporarily. And I actually think this is the best Twins rotation in at least 10 years on paper. No sarcasm. I hear where your sarcasm is coming from because I've been there with you guys for the last 2 years. But I actually woke up this morning feeling like, okay, I'm not like fully sucked back in yet. I need to see this thing play out on the field, but I can see a path here.
Well, I mean, even cross sports, but the projections on the Wild from analytics and everything, they're the deepest team in the NFL. Great. They have a lot of depth. Do they have top-end talent to keep up and score goals? No, they do not.
You know what I don't like? You know what's pissing me off personally?
Really grinds your gears.
You know what grinds my gears? Not nearly enough is being made of the fact that although he had pretty good health in 2022, this kid they got in the Arise trade has a history of arm issues.
Pablo Lopez?
Yes, Pablo Lopez has arm issues previously, okay?
It was like 2020. Was that the last?
Yeah, but I'm done. But I'm also done being.
It's hard to find. I think once you get like, that's the thing. It's tricky. Like with Malley and with Paddock, it was like within the last 6 months or 3 months they've had shoulder and elbow issues.
I just want to point it out. I just
if it
want
was
this pointed out.
2 or 3 years ago, it's hard because okay, well, every pitcher has something.
Right. But I think that every story written about the Twins and this guy Lopez in particular should include a clause of the Twins' history recently with obtaining pitchers has been horrid. So don't be surprised if his arm ends up falling off on the mound at Target Field.
Every article written about the Twins should have like an italicized paragraph to start with saying
this team has shown the highest level of incompetence when obtaining pitchers in read at your own risk.
Oh my God. Jamie, what's your third and final prediction?
So wrestling's like my only vice I have left in life.
Nice.
Oh,
So I'm gonna make an AEW Revolution prediction.
Oh, let's go.
scissor me, daddy.
There's gonna be at least 3 title changes on March 5th, and Jade Cargill will lose her TBS title.
Will that launch her into bigger things?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe she'll move on to the women's title.
Oh, okay.
See that?
So 3 title changes, including Jade.
Yes,
Okay.
because she won her 52nd match last night on Elevation.
What's your? I'm putting you on the spot here, Jamie. But what is your Mount Rushmore of favorite wrestlers?
I've always been a fan of Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, Bret Hart, and currently, I guess one of my new favorite wrestlers. I like those kids from the Twin Cities, the tag team. What do they call themselves?
Are the Jackson guys? Are those? They're not from.
Not the Jacksons. Top Flight.
Okay.
They're from Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let's
I'm
get
at
it.
AEW.
Awesome.
No
All right.
Bockwinkel?
They wouldn't be on my Rushmore. They're just fun to watch.
No
Yeah.
Bockwinkel? No George the Animal Steel?
I did see
favorites?
I did see Hulk Hogan before he was Hulk Hogan at the Mankato Armory.
Ooh,
That's cool.
that's a good
Pretty cool.
memory.
That's pretty awesome, yeah. I love
So
that.
that
man.
was kind of cool.
Well,
I suppose
Jamie.
you'd have to put Hogan up there.
I don't know, man. I think yeah. This is. We should just do a full podcast on this
I
at
mean,
some
I
point.
can go back to those days.
Mount Rushmore of favorite wrestlers. Jamie, great stuff here. Coming out swinging to start the 2023 season, rocking the Purple Daily hooded sweatshirt there. Since you've got this life-changing platform, Mackie and Judd, is there anyone you'd like to thank that brought you to this moment?
Obviously, the gimmicky one is my wife for putting up with me watching sports all the time. Although my 7-year-old daughter, Becca, has become a Timberwolves fan. So she was like, when do the Timberwolves play again so we can watch them again?
Yes.
And you guys rescued me from, the purple Kool-Aid and people like Realistic Randy, who's all part of the purple family.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you again for the kind words, the great predictions, and we'll do it again sometime. All right, Jamie?
Super.
All right. Guest listener predictor, Jamie. Let's make one last trip around the room here. Judd, what's your third and final?
I'm going to stay on the baseball train here. Since I am, just to be clear, excited about the start of the season. The new rules I absolutely love. So, my last write that down for this
I do
week.
too. People are complaining too much.
About the new rules? No, it's going to speed the game up. It's going to be glorious. And here's
our guy Lavelle wrote. I love Lavelle, but he wrote a big this is going to ruin the game.
Oh
thing,
my
and
God.
starts-
You know what I can't
Please
wait for?
Stop. The game is being ruined as it is.
Yeah, the game's
I
ruined.
can't wait. April is going to be filled with ejections. It's going to be marvelous because managers are going to go ballistic because they're going to pinch guys for balks. In fact, they came out at some instructional thing a couple of days ago and said we are going to enforce the balk rule again consistently, which they haven't done in
Dude,
years.
here's another
Guys are going to get tossed left and right.
another thing, and I know you're about to make a prediction here, but
That's okay.
I've heard a lot of people complaining about the shift. Well, the shift is we're gonna eliminate the shift, and we don't know what that's gonna do to numbers. What's it gonna do to the numbers? I don't give a rip.
Wait, what numbers?
But it might alter. People are worried, and they're always like this in baseball, that we need the numbers to be sort of uniform. You can't have weird deviations. In football, which does not care about numbers. They just care
Right.
about the games and the entertainment of the product.
Right.
No one is up in arms that the rule changes have led to every mediocre quarterback throwing for 4,000 yards. When you compare it to the old guys
They want
if
that.
Fran Tarkenton threw for 3,000 yards, it was a big season, right?
Correct.
They changed the number of games. They've changed the rules to make it more entertaining for the majority of fans. Baseball is so obsessed with like, well, what if we do this? Is the home run record going to do?
But
It's
the
like,
shift
who
already
cares?
altered the statistics big time. I mean, shortstops were playing basically third basemen were playing right field. Manny Machado was playing the line.
But you can't alter where defensive players. The NBA eliminated illegal defense, hand checking, and drew a new line on the court.
Yes,
and the game is more fun because of it.
Yes, yes. All right. So my final, write that down. Dave Roberts will be fired as the Dodgers manager either during the season or after it. So this has an end date after the season. So like if we get whatever, December of 2023,
Can we just put a date on it just for fun?
It's too late.
Can we say by
December 1st?
Okay.
December 1st. But he is going to be fired. He is going to be fired as the Dodgers manager. And for semantics, off the record, I don't think it's during the season, but just in case. Oh, Maya, who's a good girl? Who wants Dave Roberts fired too?
This is little treat, little Nutrisource.
Little Nutrisource is good. That's awesome. Anyway, that's my final prediction.
Okay. Love the random baseball season's here. The random baseball predictions.
I love this time of year for baseball. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right, Phil. I don't know if you have one in your chamber, but I'm going to make a Tiger Woods prediction. If you know, if you knew exactly where I was going. So yeah, he's playing Genesis Open first time in 500 days, I believe. This is the first tournament he's playing in since the 2022 Masters, or the 2021 Masters.
Did he play in the 21? I mean, if it was 21 Masters, it would be 500 some days. Yeah.
Yeah. So write this down. I'm just keep this pretty simple, to be honest, because as of this morning on Bovada, he is minus 185 to miss the cut, but to make the cut, he's plus 145. So odds are he
likely to miss the cut.
Likely to miss. So write this down. Tiger Woods makes the cut at the Genesis Open. That is my prediction.
I think the Genesis Open is usually a pretty low scoring, so you gotta shoot. Tiger sometimes does when he's in grind mode or his swing's not perfect. He actually fares better sometimes in tournaments where like you just have to hold strong and not. But you're gonna have to finish like minus 15 or 20 to win this thing, and then to make the cut, you're gonna have to go pretty low too. But here's my prediction. Write this down. Despite the odds being against Tiger Woods making the cut and playing well, and him being old and injured, Tiger Woods will shoot below par in at least one of the first two rounds at the Genesis.
That was almost my exact prediction, and then I changed it.
I don't have confidence he's going to make the cut, but I think he's going to show up one day. Like I could see him shooting like minus one. Is it tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like he could shoot minus one tomorrow, and then he shoots like a 75 or something and misses the cut.
Round two is his back and legs are probably gone.
Well, I think he's teeing off at like 6:30 in the morning. Did I see tomorrow?
Yeah, he's with I think JT
and McElroy.
And McElroy, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, boys. Way to kick off a new season here of Write That Down. All hail the greatest performer in Write That Down history.
Yep.
Declan, the predictor Goff. Declan, the soothsayer Goff. Mm-hmm. We all bow down to him and look up at the top of the mountain. You guys, I think we should talk a little Twins tomorrow. Pitchers and catchers. Let's flesh out. I can sense it. I woke up with less Twins angst today than I have in a long time. You guys lashed out a little bit halfway through this episode and just started kind of mocking the Twins. So
no, I'm just tired of us accepting the fact that they are making correct decisions on pitching when they continue to screw that.
Let's talk through it. Let's talk through it tomorrow.
Speaking of the shift quickly, did you guys see? I saw this morning. Did you guys see what people think is going to happen with the shift? So the infielders all have to be on their proper side of the base.
They'll just start sprinting once the pitch is delivered?
Their feet have to be on the infield dirt. As far as I know, and this is correct, what doesn't the shift address?
That you can make the dirt as big as you want if you're a grounds crew?
It doesn't affect outfielders.
Oh, yeah.
They think that managers for the Max Keplers, managers are going to take the left fielder, put him shallow right field where the second baseman used to go.
Little rover.
The third baseman then will have his feet on the dirt, but will the third baseman and center fielder will be responsible through shading for left field.
So the third baseman,
This
but
is
the third baseman has to keep his foot on the dirt.
correct.
So you'd still have a gaping hole down the line in left field because the third baseman can't like
Correct.
stand back 15 feet.
But let's just say that the thought process is a Buxton or a Michael A. Taylor has the speed where the ball would have to be like basically against the left field line to fall in.
Interesting.
And a guy like Kepler or Gallo is so likely to still pull the ball that the left fielder could make the play the second baseman used to make.
Yeah. Drama, shift drama.
And
We've got
then
bigger bases. We've got
And then
runners
we'll
on
have
second base. Oh my God! But you can't put a runner on second base. You've been playing for 3.5 hours. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
it's
just
okay.
get the show on the road. For
Well,
God's sakes.
and yeah, let's speed exactly. Let's do everything we can to speed this thing up. The only way I would draw the line in extras is if they literally went to a home run derby. I don't want that, but anything else,
after about the
ghost
13th
runner,
inning, I would be open to a conversation there.
That will come up someday.
Oh, man. All right, that's a wrap on Mackie and Judd here today. Thanks for hanging out with us. And if you could, click the subscribe button on the Score North and Purple Daily YouTube channels as we continue to build, along with your help, this community of Minnesota sports fans. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some Reckless Speculation Thursday.